How do you take your coffee? I think I'll take mine with an action hero and an afro. Welcome to the Covering Up a Podcast with Nicole and Ashley. And today we have a 70s movie to review. Stay tuned. This is the blaxploitation era. A lot of controversy. Even in the 70s, there were Black people who was like, no, this is not it. And there were other Black people who were like, yes, we want to see Black people fighting and being the heroes, because they were, in a sense, superheroes. Pam Grier, some people classified her as a superhero. What do you call it? Yeah, a hero. Action hero.
Yeah.
A Black female action hero. And so, but then you have the other side, which was like, let's do something else. So seeing this, what's your first, I guess, reaction or your first thoughts about Coffy? Overall, general thoughts.
I thought I would like it a bit more. And I think I'm just not a 1970s girl. Cause I don't really, I apologize, but I just don't like Shaft. I don't like the other one, Gordon Parks Jr.'s film, Superfly.
Is it the blaxploitation or 70s movies? Because there is a difference.
I can't think of a film that comes out in the 70s that is not blaxploitation right now. I think it might be blaxploitation.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Cicely Tyson, I read her book, and she was not for the blaxploitation, and her movies, I think around that time, was Sounder and like Mrs. Jane Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are more, I guess, storytelling of like the Black experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was very clear she was not with what they was doing over there. She was like, I'm gonna be over here with my with storytelling of the Black family. So there is a difference, even back in
I love
time.
the music. I love the music. I probably knew the music before I saw the. I know I knew the music before I saw the films, and I don't think I'm not against it though. Like I don't find it terribly offensive, but then again, I have not heard reasons why people would call it offensive.
The reasons is because of, I guess there was a theme in the blaxploitation of the drugs, the pimps, the prostitution, just that type of lifestyle. They felt like it was just glorified. One movie is okay, but when you have every movie, it's the same pimps, drug dealers, prostitutes. It's like, okay, now.
I understand that. I think Kofi and Shaft are different in that they are fighting crime, and they are at least with Coffee, and I'm sorry I keep calling her Kofi, so silly. With Coffee, she's taking it all the way to the top. Like she's not just fighting Black drug dealers and pimps. She's like, nah, I'm fighting white cops. I'm fighting European mobsters,
gangsters.
So I am not just I'm saying that like this shit is a problem, and it's not just Black people who are in it, you know.
She's going after everybody.
Going after everybody. And I think if it's similar to Foxy Jones. I know it's a different actress, it's a different film. Is it Foxy Jones or Foxy Brown?
Foxy Brown. She's Foxy Brown. Pam Grier is Foxy Brown.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
It's a
That's her actress. Biggest role.
Is she?
Yeah.
Where do you see that on her internet? I thought it was another actress. I'm trying to remember her name.
Foxy Brown, 1974 film. That's Pam Grier.
Then I'm not thinking about Foxy Brown. Who am I thinking about?
Cleopatra
Cleopatra
Jones.
Jones.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was
That's who
this?
I'm thinking about. I saw that. Um,
Tamara Dobson. Okay.
sorry, that is who I was thinking about, and I think Jones is what got me.
You said Foxy Jones. I'm like, I
I'm
know
like
Foxy
Foxy Brown,
Brown.
Foxy Jones. What is it now?
And Pam Grier was definitely Foxy Brown.
That's why I think when I first saw Cleopatra Jones, I was like, "Where's Pam Grier?" And it's like it's a
Oh.
whole different thing, girl. And that's why I was like, no, because I was surprised too that it wasn't Pam Grier. Anyway, sorry, I apologize. Now I don't even remember why I was bringing that up, but even her film as well, she was fighting crime.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her black boyfriend, her black boyfriend
Her
sounds
boyfriend.
racist, but her boyfriend were really invested, literally, like even financially invested in helping folks who were addicts, you know.
Oh, a lot of drugs. Maybe there was a time, a sign of the times, the 70s. Because this movie, Coffee, is essentially about a nurse who's gone undercover as a junkie prostitute, I guess, to seek revenge against the drug dealing pimps who got her 11-year-old sister hooked on drugs. And so that's what she's doing. She's going after all these, the crime mobs, the head dealer, the dealer's boss, the boss's boss.
Did you like the movie?
So I went into this movie knowing all of the controversy about blaxploitation. I wasn't sure where I was going to stand on it. I didn't think it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I understand why black people would like this movie because you do have a black female action hero, which I looking at it from just that perspective, I'm like, yes, you want her to win. And even in the times when it's like you're thinking, oh, this is it for her, she comes out and she's on top and she's gorgeous and she's just like everything. And so it's like, yeah, I get it. What I didn't understand, the amount of breasts shown in this
Let's
movie
go.
for no damn reason. I'm like, okay. Like the fight scene, it's
Titties.
like the girl literally just, it's like they were fighting and the other girl just took her, exposed her breasts. I'm like, we don't fight, nobody's fighting like this.
It's all titties. From the
If
very
any,
beginning, when she makes her first bust, like when she, and bust being a
yeah.
appropriate word here, okay? I mean, it's just titties, and not just black titties. It's
Oh,
white titties. It's just all titties.
if anything,
And
I say
I'm
the movie
like,
was sexist more than racist. I was like, it's
how many titties we got to see? I think I posted on Instagram. Maybe I didn't, but because like as I was watching it, I was like, we are 10 minutes in, and I have seen 3.5 titties, and I'm trying to understand what is going on and why do I need to see this?
because it's
I
a
didn't.
man director. It's like director asks, how many pairs of titties can we show in the movie? Okay,
Yeah,
got it. Yes, check.
yeah.
How many? All right, let's go.
I was gonna ask who is Pam Grier now? Like who is the person in these action films?
We don't really have
Um
no action. I mean, are there any black action movies?
yeah, I don't when I think black, I think either a lot of black people in the cast or it's led by a black, like Men in Black is a
Outside,
black
okay.
action.
I was gonna say outside of Marvel
Woman
and Woman
King,
King. Yeah, yeah.
um,
Okay, Woman King. Yeah, but that's a more historical
Set It Off to
piece.
me is
I can see
action
Set It Off.
drama.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say that.
but I think that for me, if the issue isn't necessary, because it's not necessarily crime, drugs, addicts, and things like that. That's not what I'm hearing. Is that's not really the issue. It's the pattern. Like we can
Yeah.
have one film like that, but why we need all? So I think now is just like the neo slave. It's like, well, how
Oh
many
yeah.
slave films are
True.
we gonna see?
And the
How
same story.
many?
The same story. It's like one thing I like about The Woman King was that it gave a different storyline. I'm like,
Yeah,
thank God we have a different storyline because we know the other story all too well. It's the
yeah.
same story we've heard over and over.
And I think with I think Kindred is different because I
Yes.
think people really love Octavia Butler. And I think that people really it's science fiction. So
And
it's
it's yeah.
different. It's a different avenue. And so but I think people are tired of seeing black slave films. I didn't trust that light skinned boyfriend from the very
Oh.
beginning. I said I don't trust it and I don't want it. As soon as he said he is about to run for
Oh, Congress.
Congress, I just thought, are you in this just for the money? Because up until that point, we have not seen him. We saw him in like a bar, and so I'm like, where we when we gonna see you with the people? When we gonna see you doing work? What are we doing here? So I have so the film never gave me a reason to
To
believe
trust him
that he is a trustworthy character or that he is really invested or interested
and the
in the
people.
upliftment of black communities.
And then they went to dinner at whatever that place was with the another topless white woman. And I'm like, is this a restaurant? Is this a bar? Like, where are we?
It's a sketchy place for criminals to do business.
And why are we here?
That's
Like,
what it
why are we
is.
having dinner here?
And there is a man there with glasses with one of them with one side blacked out and the other side. So why are from immediately
We
I'm
knew he
like,
was
I
a
don't
bad
trust
guy.
this place. I know he's a bad guy. He pull out a knife on that white girl and her titties.
Exact.
She
Another pair of
scared,
titties.
you know. I don't I just didn't trust the space that they were in. So but yeah, Kofi is dating Kofi, Jesus.
Coffee.
Coffee is dating him and they a lot of night scenes because do we
Yeah.
ever see them together in the daytime?
There was this one scene where I think he was like campaigning a little bit, but that was like very short.
And it was filmed like it was all staged when he got out there. Like
Yeah.
there's a director telling him like giving the audience cues to yell because this is just a farce. She did have another love interest. I don't know if we can count him as a love interest. Carter,
The cop
the
who was,
cop. And
but
it
she didn't
seems
really
like
like him. Yeah.
she didn't, but and it seemed like he liked her quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it, we also get the sense that they have a past together
Yeah.
and he brings that up and she's like, look child, we was young, we grown now, ain't nobody doing, look, I got a whole man, okay, an entire man out here, I'm not about to be like doing anything with you. He gets hurt. And I know I'm jumping around, but I like that the film doesn't focus on her going back and forth between her corrupt light skinned boyfriend and this dark skinned cop. I like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like the focus stayed on her as opposed to which man will she
Yeah.
choose,
It's not about that. I was surprised at how she got away with all this killing and then come back to work the next day. Like the first, well, one of the first scenes, it's like she's pretending to be, I guess, a prostitute on drugs. So she can like get in with this drug
Mhm.
dealer, and she's like in this apartment with two men. She pretends like she's gonna sleep with one of the guys, ends up shooting him with a shotgun in the chest. The other dude, she like injects with drugs, I guess, to did he die too?
I guess she plans on killing him because she's gonna make him OD.
Yeah. But I don't know, but did he die or did he just
I don't think we
oh
see him die.
okay. But the other guy ends up at the hospital where she work at because she goes back to work. And I'm like, how this girl getting away with all this stuff? Like nobody nobody sees anything.
Nobody sees nothing. No one is coming after her because I'm assuming that this first man that she murders has people who will be looking for him, has
Yeah.
people who he pays, has people who he employs and who he is employed by. So I think that they're going to want to know like what's going on. Who like
Hmm.
I think that a crime network is a little bit more sophisticated than what the film
Even
gave.
with her going from like pretending to be in the I don't know what you call it, the underbelly, the underworld,
Mhm.
the sex work life versus her nurse life, it's like somebody's gonna cross at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just kind of sex work is work. I support sex workers. And is Coffee a sex worker? Maybe. Like she does have sex with King George, yes?
I was confused about that.
Like, did we have to have sex with
I was confused. I'm thinking when she's with him, I'm like, okay, so any minute now, we got something, the
him?
gun
She
coming
gonna
out
take out a
somewhere.
razor in that afro. It's gonna be
Something
a
coming out.
fucking a
But then
toothpick.
but then
Something.
I ain't seen nothing. So I'm like,
We
okay.
really fucked him. You ain't drug him. You ain't say, oh, my period on. I gotta go. You ain't what happened?
Yeah, I was so confused at that point.
Child. I don't know. And I'm wondering like why that made me so uncomfortable because I know that if I saw a man do like I think they're Harlem Nights. You know, Eddie Murphy knows that Jasmine Guy is trying to kill her. He finds the gun. He still sleep with her. He still sleep with her. I guess because it's like he wants to have sex with her, you know. Um, but when I saw that, I'm like, gosh, I don't want you to sleep with him.
Because it goes against her character and what she's like. She was on this right justice path, yeah, justice path of her whole concern was getting justice and by any means necessary, and tricking these guys into thinking she's one thing when she's not. And so then it's like, okay, so what's the angle with this one?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but a part of me feels like maybe maybe I'm being a prude. I because he wasn't giving anything that felt like, ooh, he is hot stuff. I
No,
want to,
he was
you know.
not.
But maybe it's because we ain't in the '70s. Maybe he was hot stuff in the '70s.
With
But
them
when I look at him,
sideburns.
I'm like, you look like Lamont, and I don't. You look like Lamont and the daddy from 227, and you just not giving me sexy vibes. But you know. Did anybody in the film other than Pam Grier give me sexy vibes? No, they didn't.
No, especially all them white women. King George, why is
George,
she here?
baby.
Why is she here? I thought I was a special one.
I was ready for fucking Coffee to beat her ass. She was getting on my motherfucking nerves. Ooh, she was getting on my motherfucking nerves. I knew she was gonna start some shit. I knew it.
Is this the beginning of white women being jealous of black women? Because that seemed
Oh
like a
no,
heavy theme. I'm like, okay,
that started when black folk landed
true.
on this. That hell, that started when they went and kidnapped black people from the fucking coast of girl. That been started. That ain't just started in
Why is she
70s.
here? What's she doing here? I thought you like me. I thought I was the special one.
And you know
Who
what?
is
I think
she?
that he there's a part of me that thinks she wouldn't have been given all that trouble if this was another white woman who
Nah.
comes. And so basically, like, I guess to give the listeners context, Coffee knows that King George is a pusher who is connected to the main guy, Mr. Arturo. And she pretends to be a Jamaican woman of the night who is the best at her job, and she's basically saying like, I need to be a part of your crew because he has a crew of sex workers who work for him. And so he's like, okay, well, let's go back to my hotel room where he keeps all of these women, and it's understood that he is going to have sex with her to quote unquote test her out. So when they get up to the hotel, when they get up to the room, I don't even want to call it a hotel room because it looks like it's
It's
like
like a
his
suite.
penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he and his girlfriend, his bottom girl, I guess we could call her, his number one girl, has just come back from Miami. She was on a job, but she came back early, and you get the sense that she cares for him, she loves him. You get the sense he cares about her because probably been doing this for a very long time. And it's kind of, sometimes it's, unless he's a sociopath, it's kind of impossible to like not care for somebody you've been working with for a very long time. But I think that her feelings are a little bit more intense than his.
Mm-hmm.
So he like, hey, go make a cup of Folgers, cause me and her about to get the business. Me and I don't even know what her alias
What's he
was,
called? Yeah.
but me and Miss Mama's about to get to work here. And I think that sometimes when a this is the vibe I was getting, because most of the women in his crew were white. I did see a
Yes.
couple of I saw one other black woman, but he was not interested in her.
Mm-mm.
And it seems this this is this is based off of 37 years of being a black woman. Oh, watching this movie, hearing conversations, listening to white racist women. I think this white woman got with this black man and thought, oh, I'm white, I'm the prize.
Yeah.
So it's done. Can't nobody compete with me. You know what I'm saying? And if another white woman tries to take my place, she's not, because I'm the most beautiful one. I'm blonde, you know, and I'm beautiful, and I can take her. I can take her on. And he already has a white woman. Why would he,
Need another one.
I'm, you know, but I can't change my race. So if he comes in here with the black woman that he just looks smitten for, because he does, he looks like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So it's like, I can't, her race might be a part of the reason he's attracted to her.
Well, it's not even the race, because backing up, when she was doing her research about King George, the other white woman who was his bottom girl before and got out, she told Coffee, she was like, he like, if you exotic, not from America, you win. So that's why she put on that fake Jamaican accent, because he was just
Mm.
like, oh, this
See,
ain't no black American.
I thought she was talking about the white guy. Cause I thought she was talking about like he's gonna spit on you, he's gonna call you
No, no,
names and
no.
stuff like
Before,
that.
when she was like, what kind of girls is King George like? And
Oh,
she was like, exotic, because that's why she went with the Jamaican accent.
got you.
So not
So
only is she black, but she not American black. Oh,
I can't
oh,
compete with this. I cannot compete with her. And I also think that there are a lot of women who get upset when their black male partner is interested in somebody who they deem unworthy. So
mm-hmm.
if it's a skinny girl who's with a dude and the dude is eyeing a plump sister,
She's
oh,
like,
she's like,
what?
what? Huh? A fat girl? What? Well, I've heard that, I've seen that. Or when you have somebody who's light skinned, they boyfriend wants somebody dark skinned, and it's like, but
I thought you liked
mm,
me.
I thought you wanted
I thought you
this.
like. I thought
You
you like
know
dark
what I
chocolate.
mean? When you got some off-white person, Kardashian is esque woman, and all of a sudden it's just like we with a black woman. I was like, wait, what? Huh? I don't get it. What do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Are you with or a rich woman and he start dating a girl making a regular $80,000 a year, and it's like, wait, well, what? Why do you want her? What can she do for? So I think like that is also a part of what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But she thought she could put them paws on Coffee, and Coffee said, "Let me hide these razor blades up in
And my
my hair,"
afro.
and the girls couldn't take it. They couldn't. She beat everybody ass,
Mm-hmm.
and I supported it.
Mm-hmm. And the men just stood there staring at her like trash men do. So she's at King George's house because the other chick before told her that he keeps his drugs in the fireplace. And she
Hmm.
went and now did she like contaminate the drugs? Because she didn't take them.
Yeah,
She just
she switched it out with sugar.
Okay.
That's how she saved her own life. Because, and this is why that white girl was more dangerous, because when Coffee is fighting, one of Arturo's henchmen recognizes her,
Yes.
and she's like, that's that same girl who when we
Does
attacked
that
that black cop,
yeah.
this I you know, and so when she switches the drugs out for sugar, when they catch her, they plan on make forcing her to OD, and they
Mm-hmm.
use some of King George's
Drug
drugs to do
supply.
that.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's like, oh, okay, go ahead and do it, because I know they ain't gonna do shit to me. But
Yeah.
I was like, but can sugar just injected into your veins, can that fuck you up?
Ain't you gonna get
Oh, that fuck
diabetes?
you up? That girl got diabetes, type 1 and 2 from that. She got to be careful.
Maybe her pancreas is well.
Or
She
just
can
gave her a
pee it out.
boost of fucking energy.
Energy. um is that how she went after that? She went with the white man, right? The racist white man.
Yes, because he sees her fighting and he's like, I've got to have her.
Oh yeah, of
Got
course.
to have her. So King George sends her to him, and she tries to kill him, but they catch her. And now, he's asking the questions that any other gangster would ask, like, who sent you? The fuck
Mm-hmm.
going on? He don't know that she was just working alone.
Mm-hmm.
She's working alone. She ain't got no crew, you know? And I wonder if that's a part of a black exploitation theme, like somebody just working solo, you
I don't
know.
know.
But um so they they get with anybody she's connected to. So she lies and says King George sent me, because she doesn't care what happens to King
Nope.
George. And it's so unfortunate. I feel really bad for him, especially the way that he um
Oh, the racism
passes,
part.
the way that they tie him up and drag him behind a car. We know in
And
my
a noose.
lifetime.
They had a noose around
Yeah.
his neck.
And in my time, we, what was it, 95, when this happened in Texas?
Oh wow.
They found like parts of a man's body. Like, here's his chest cavity, here's
Oh my
this part of the
goodness.
body. And so when I saw that was a bit like, whew, I
So this part they talked about it in the podcast, and they would say that even for that time it was a little rough, and they had a director speak on it. And he said he knew it was rough, but it was also real life, because also in the 70s in California there was a black man who got lynched for real, and so he decided to put it in the movie because it was still going on. But
in
then there were people
California.
but then there
California, the
were
place they
people
love to be like is super progressive. California.
California been racist, and so is New York. I
Child,
don't understand why
say it.
people pretend like they not. Yeah, but he was saying, like, because a lot of people when they saw it, it was like, "Oh, this a lot now." What this white director trying to say?
Yeah.
But he
Especially
said it was real life.
when especially when like that this may have been real life, but you are also making a film,
True.
and the white people can get their comeuppance, and because this is all fantasy, and they don't, like, they just get shot. It's like, I need them to be dragged by. I think that's why people like Django, because
Yeah.
Django was going in there whipping ass and torturing folks the way that he was tortured. And so it left me feeling like, I want, like, I don't feel like this is fair.
Well, but I think that was kind of the point too. It's like you have this movie that's supposed to be disguised as like black empowerment, but this underlying tone of these white people is not your friend. Like, okay, you thinking you working with them, you do not work with them, because they is not your friend. They
You
will
mean
kill
like the
you.
the black actors and the directors?
No, even in the
Or
movie,
you
like for King George being thinking he's working with these the drug dealers, like he's part of their team or whatever. He got all these white women, you know, at his disposal. All these women
Yeah.
he can just be with, like he's equal to them.
And they're not going to protect you.
No, it's like, remember, you was not equal.
Yeah. And I thought that the film did a lot to, like, show him trying to preserve some type of masculinity, because they when he gets into the car, his assistant is driving them, but two of Arturo's henchmen, like, they have guns at his side, and they're like, get in. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, well, what's going on, what's happening? And after a while he's like, oh, this is a joke, y'all are playing with
Mm-hmm.
me. And it's like, and they're like, okay, we playing with you. But it's like he tries to force himself to believe that, because he doesn't want to, completely fall apart.
Yeah.
And he even has to belittle another man in this moment. It's like, baby, you're the one who's about to be murdered. You're the
Mm-hmm.
one who's about to be tortured. But you gonna make fun of the driver, like, oh, look at him, he's so scared. Y'all are just pulling my leg. Y'all are just playing. It's like, honey, you can do all of that. You can do whatever you need to do to preserve your manhood. But what we are like, you're gonna die today, you know. So that was, I don't know, that whole thing was just really sad, really uncomfortable, even though, and I'm like, why do I care about King George? King George is horrible.
Because he's still a black man. That's the other thing.
He's still a black man. Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Getting killed by white people, being lynched by white
And
people.
he's being tortured. It's like I didn't feel he's because I who did not feel bad for? I didn't feel bad for anyone who Kofi
So she
shut
shot.
up because Kofi wasn't trying to torture nobody.
Nah, she was just like
Kofi
bang
was
bang.
why am I calling this girl Kofi? Pam Grier, I'm
Coffee.
sorry. Coffee was like
Coffee with a Y.
pow, pow, you're done. Cause I ain't got time for the torturing. I got to go clock in for my shift. Cause I work nights at this motherfucking hospital.
Coffee had a straight agenda. She was just like, drugs is bad. You sell the drugs, you die. That's it. So King George is being killed. Coffee is being sent to this house, which he's like chained up.
Yes, they keep her in a sauna. Um, that's where they keep her.
And then guess who comes? Oh, boyfriend.
And I was like, oh, he's about to save the day. Like he's about to help her out.
Well, first, okay, I was nervous. I'm thinking he gonna spill the beans because they don't know she a nurse and she working whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, is he gonna mess up her things she's trying to do? But then when they was like, oh, do you know her? And he was like, oh, she's just some girl I fucked. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe he said that just to kind of like play, like kind of like keep it cool, play along. Because
I
I'm like,
thought
he
if
knows
they,
not to tell
yeah,
the truth.
yeah. Even though that is the truth, apparently. Like he knows he doesn't want them to believe that they are connected because
Right,
Coffee just tried to kill them.
right,
So they're gonna think I put her up to this. So
right.
I gotta, but
Disassociate
also,
myself, but know that I do. She is familiar, so I'm like, okay.
yes.
But then,
But black viewers want it to be also that you're just saying that so it's like, oh, she can go because we don't care about her. Like you know, we
I'm
ain't worried about
thinking,
that.
I thought he was gonna say that, be like, oh, but send it to me. I can handle her. Send it to me.
Mm.
But then when it was like, oh, we just gonna get rid of her, he was like, okay, yeah. I'm like, excuse me, what, sir? What? Get rid of her?
No, he's the one who said, okay, so it went like this. You want to know how much she means to me? And then he went in that white man's ear and said something, and the white man was like, nah, say that shit out loud. And he was like, oh, okay, I said take that bitch out back and kill her. And so Coffee's like, and I'm still
Excuse me.
my dumb ass, even though I never trusted him, I'm like, but it's gonna be cops waiting outside, yes? What's gonna happen? It's gonna be something. He don't mean that. Cause I didn't think that I felt like he was corrupt. I didn't think he was that corrupt.
Me neither. He fooled me.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. So she looks heartbroken, and they take her in the cop car because the cop Carter's partner is in cahoots with these motherfuckers, and so they plan on using some of King Floyd's drugs, not King Floyd, Lord, King
George.
George's drugs to make her OD. What they don't know, which is what the viewers know, is that she been switched that shit out for confectioner sugar. So she like, I ain't fucking worried about it because that's just so. But she also has to get out of the car because sooner or later they're gonna be like, how come this woman isn't dying from drugs? So she pretends, she uses her sex appeal once again and again. I'm like, did we fuck this white bald man? because it looked like it was some penetrate. I was like, well, wait a minute. But before this, she had filed down some goddamn bobby pins or something, child, stuck that in her damn afro. So when they feed her the drugs, they put that in her veins, and so they the she's like, hey, let's fuck, like, man, you could have had a good time, so let's just, and he's like, oh, okay. And the cop is like, no, you ain't doing that shit in my back seat, take that shit somewhere else. So they go somewhere else, and she removes the filed down metal from her afro, stabs that nigga in the trachea like 85,000 times. So he's just gushing blood. And so now it's a chase. The cop is after her, and the other dude is after her, and both of them die. Cop explodes in his car. The other dude, she's crossing 85 lanes of traffic, LA traffic. They ain't LA, right?
I think so, yeah.
And they on the highway, and she's just dodging the cars, and he is not so lucky. So she gets away. She goes back to the house because now everybody got to die. Everybody got to die, and everyone does.
And first they find out where her fake boyfriend is.
Yeah.
And they tell her he's at the beach house. So she's like, okay.
Exactly. Because she kills a Toro, and you thought he was going to be like the big score. And it's like, nah, where that light-skinned motherfucker at? Where your little friend at? And we know he's with another woman, right? Because when he says he's going to the beach house, he's like, somebody is waiting for me at this beach house, and we know it's a woman,
a white one at that.
Child.
This white woman, black woman story. I mean, I feel like this, like you said, it goes back to slavery.
Child, but I mean, did that white woman deserve to die? No, she didn't kill. But I was like, she should have killed her, right? Because let me not say she should have killed her, but I was like, that's a witness. You just left the witness, because she kills her ex-boyfriend, and the white woman is just up there screaming.
No, she shoots him in the dick. That's what she do.
In the Pee-wee Herman.
And then he like, no, she come in the house, and he like, I thought you was dead. What?
No, he was like, oh, I knew they wouldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew they weren't gonna do it. Hey, but they were gonna try to do it even if I said anything, because she's like, bitch, I'm not here because they didn't try. They did try to kill me. He was like, look, you was going no matter what the fuck I said. Which is true, but still, I mean, it's like, damn.
He could have helped. No, he could have did something.
I mean, because it seems like Coffy is coming up with plans just on the fly.
Exactly.
Like, she is a MacGyver of sorts. She is just like, I don't have nothing on me, but I'm gonna steal guns. I'm gonna make weapons out of anything I find, and
put razor blades in my afro. So try to pull my hair. Pull my hair if you want to.
Pull my hair. Pull this wig, child.
Then that white woman came downstairs, and she was like, "Oh, what?"
Because I wonder if he almost had her. He was like, "Come on, give me the gun. I love you." And then she see that white woman, and she's like, "Oh, so you know, and you are assuming I have died, but you up here fucking this white woman. Oh, okay, got it. What you was gonna do anyway?" Pow.
And then the movie ends with her walking on the beach
alone.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the convo going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well, happy watching, Love y'all. Bye.